Okay, so what I've actually done is I've put Core 0 into the OSPF network, and I have given ISP router a default route, which basically is just looking back to Core 0, which should then give me my two-way ping. So if I actually go into this and I try and ping, yep, you can see I am getting replies. And if I try and ping the internet or my simulated public IP, which is just look back 0, yep, getting connection. So basically that's everything all working and pretty much going the way it should do. So what I'm actually going to try in this stage is I'm going to try access control lists. Now I'm going to need to move this over a little bit, so give me 2 wee seconds just so we can shimmy this. Access control lists, I am going to try and prevent one of my hosts. I've only got one here right now, so let's add another host in. Right, so I want to prevent one of my hosts from accessing the internet. Let's say, for example, he's surfing stuff that he shouldn't be while he's at work, so we want to block him from accessing the internet, but we still want to give him access to everything else. Now, easiest way I can see for doing that is basically just to block him from Core 0, which means he's still got access to R1, R2, R3, R0, R4, all the rest of the networks. Everything's fine, but he's blocked from the core router, which means he in turn can't access everything else. So access control list I would just set up on Core 0. So in Core 0, go into global config mode, and to start an access list, it's just access list. Give it a number, let's say 3 for example, and we want to deny, in this occasion it would be a host, and the host address for that will be 172, we've not actually given it yet, so we will give it in a second, 172.168.0.5. I think that is actually all we need to put in. Yes, it is. Because it's deny host, we don't need to put a subnet in. So with access lists, as we know, they are explicit denies at the end, so if you don't put in any other comment, it's basically going to deny all traffic that it doesn't do, so we're going to need to put in a permit all statement as well. No, it's not actually, it's just a permit. No. A permit any. Why do I keep thinking it's permit all? So that's the access list now on. So we're wanting to configure that access list on gig 01, which is the interface getting into it. Now this is where I always get confused. For some strange reason I think I get confused between the ins and the outs. Now the way I'm seeing it here is I'm actually wanting to go into that network in order to go out to the internet. Now if I want to go into it, I want to block in traffic, so that's in. So we're wanting to go into gig 01, and the way we actually do an access list is it's access, it's not, it's IP, access group, nope, that was IP access group, and then it's 3, and it would be in. Now before I do this, I actually want to confirm that it does work beforehand, so I'm going to get into the host that I'm going to configure for this, and we're going to give it the static IP, and subnet you have entered is I'm going to actually give the two hosts the same address, but obviously in their own networks. Like so. So at this stage, let's see if we can ping the net, which is 200.10.10.209. And this should ping perfectly. And it's never pinged before, so it'll fail in the first couple. There's a lot of switches and a lot of devices in there, so they need to fill up the MAC tables. It's going to be a complete fail on the first one, isn't it? Okay, well that's doing that, let's actually get into the other host and do the same command. So ping, let's actually try the gateway first. So pinging the gateway. Why have the red X's next to them? I wonder. Let's try recabling now. So Ethernet cable direct to Ethernet, any port. Ethernet cable. Switch any port. Static address. Went down. Okay, give me 2 seconds. Okay, so I had a slight issue with Packet Tracer. Anytime I was actually trying to configure the PCs or the hosts to connect to the network, it wouldn't work. Now, I've done a bit of research on the internet and I think it's a bug on Packet Tracer. What I've actually done is instead of putting PCs in, I have actually put a server in, and if I now try and ping the ISP, I get a reply. If I try and ping my gateway, again I get a reply, which I should do because I can ping the ISP, and the same goes for host 2, or well, in my case server 2, exact same reply. Now on this gig, the core router, what we were doing was I had an access list set up, which was access list 3, a standard access list. So if I go back into the interface, which is gig 01, and then we IP access group 3, which is the number I gave it, and then I say in and return. That is now on that interface, and we can confirm that with a show run command. So if we go into show run, we can see there access list 3 has been applied to gigabit 01, which is this interface here. So if I go back to the server and we try and ping the internet, pinging works successfully, and it is this interface because this is the one with the 05, and if I try and ping destination host, is unreachable. However, if I try and ping anything else in the network, which would be 192.168.0.4. You can see I'm actually getting a reply for that. So it's actually communicating no problem with this router. However, it will not go past here. It will not go past the core router. And that's how I set up an access list.